Hey guys, tonight we're going to slow things down and sit with a story that matters. It's about a teenage boy who walks into a store with a good heart and a simple goal and walks out with a lesson far too many know by heart. Before we begin, please like the video and subscribe, but only if stories like this truly move you. Comment your city and the time you're watching. Now close your eyes or don't, it's your choice. Either way, you're about to witness something real. It's 2:36 p.m. on a Tuesday in Scottsdale, Arizona, the kind of day where the light is too sharp to be ignored and the breeze just barely hums through the palm trees. The shopping plaza feels like a painting, polished stone sidewalks, clean windows reflecting blue sky and a stillness that belongs to expensive places. On the corner, tucked between a modern art gallery and a cafe with stiff wooden chairs and stiff prices, sits Bryant and Cole Jewelers. And that's where Malik Rivers stops. He's 17. Tall but not tall enough to seem intimidating. Lean in that way that comes from never having time for second helpings. His hoodie is navy zipped halfway clean and worn at the cuffs. His jeans are creased from sitting all morning at school and then standing behind a register at the college bookstore where he's been stacking hardcovers and dust jackets since the start of spring. In his pocket, folded twice, is a week's worth of crumpled bills, birthday money, tips from helping neighbors move boxes, and the rest earned one shift at a time. Malak doesn't hesitate when he sees the store. He just exhales, tugs the strap of his backpack tighter across his shoulder, and steps in. Inside, the air is cool and smells faintly of lavender and lemon polish. The overhead lights are soft, but calculated, designed to make silver gleam and diamonds catch the eye. And there they are, behind spotless glass, the rows of necklaces, rings, earrings. They shine without apology. Malik takes a few careful steps forward, nods once at the man behind the counter. The man is in his early 40s, dressed in a pressed navy vest with the name Aaron on his badge. He offers a polite but practiced smile, the kind that comes from working retail in a high-end place for years. "Afternoon," Aaron says. "Let me know if you need help." "Just looking, thanks," Malik replies, voice low, but clear. He says it the way his mother taught him, respectful, steady, no slouch in his posture. Every move he makes is intentional, not because he's scared, but because he knows exactly where he is and how easily he can be seen as someone who doesn't belong. He walks slowly past the cases, eyes scanning the rows. There are necklaces with emeralds the size of marbles, thin diamond bracelets that cost more than his family's rent. And then near the end he sees it, a simple gold chain, no glitter, no noise. Just one charm hanging from it, a key, small, shiny, quiet. And for some reason it catches him. He thinks of his mother, Dr. Tiana Rivers, and her habit of wearing one plain silver band on her finger, nothing else. She's a serious woman, always focused, always moving. But he remembers how she once told him when he was 10 and didn't want to go to a school recital. Sometimes you show up not for the moment, but for the meaning behind it. Malik leans in slightly, reading the tag. The price makes his breath catch for a second, but he doesn't pull back. He does the math in his head. He has enough for a deposit. The rest, he'll figure that out. He just needs time. "You thinking of a gift?" Aaron asks, walking over. Not pushy, just conversational. Malik nods. "For my mom. Her birthday's next week." Aaron looks down at the necklace. "Good eye. That one's 14 karat. We can hold it for 24 hours if you want. Small deposit." Malik nods again. "How much?" $50. He doesn't even hesitate. "I'll do that." Aaron heads to the register. Malik reaches for his wallet, careful not to move too fast. He pulls out a mix of bills, tens and fives, counted slow, and places them on the counter. Aaron rings it up, prints the receipt, and slides it across with "Onan. We'll keep it in the back for you. Just bring the rest in by tomorrow." Malik folds the receipt carefully. "Appreciate it." He turns slightly, ready to go. And across the room, leaning casually near a case of sapphire rings, stands Linda Carmichael. She's in her 60s. Sharp bob haircut, beige slacks, a coral blouse, and the kind of leather handbag that costs more than Malik's tuition books. Her eyes track him like she's watching a fox circle a henhouse. He doesn't see her yet. She's holding her phone, thumb hovering. She's already unlocked it, already decided something in her mind. Outside, the sun reflects off the windows just enough to hide her mouth as it moves. Her voice low, crisp, certain. Yes, hello. I need to report suspicious activity. There's a young man in a hoodie acting nervous. Looks like he might be casing the place. Inside, Malik glances one last time at the gold key necklace. His heart is light. He thinks he's done everything right. The kind of right that comes with calm words, steady hands, and exact change. But not everything stays buried forever. Outside, a siren whoops once quiet and almost polite. Two cruisers pull into the plaza like they're stopping for coffee, and Malik, he's still holding that little white receipt, unaware that in the space of 5 minutes, someone has decided he looks more like a threat than a son. The jewelry store's door closes gently behind Malik as he steps out, still unaware of the shadow following him. Linda Carmichael remains by the fountain near the sidewalk, her expression unreadable, phone still in hand. She isn't panting or distressed, just calmly narrating what she thinks she sees. Yes, he's heading out now. Tall hoodie, dark skin, probably 17. Looked like he was trying to negotiate a deal. Seemed off. She never says the word theft. She doesn't have to. Suspicion fills in the blanks. Minutes later, the first police cruiser arrives, followed closely by a second. Their appearance is quiet but unmistakable. Red and blue lights stay off, but the energy shifts. Nearby cafe patrons lower their espresso cups. The barista stops steaming milk. A jogger pulling her golden retriever pauses mid-stride. No sirens, no loud voices. Just two officers stepping out, glancing toward the jewelry store window, where Malik has returned to speak with the associate, asking if he could pay the remaining balance today instead of tomorrow. His friend had texted back with a digital gift card number. It's just enough. Aaron, the associate, smiles faintly and says, absolutely. One moment. He moves toward the back to get the necklace from storage. The door chime sings again. Two uniformed officers enter, Officer Mitchell Delgado and Officer Anna Ramirez. Delgado is tall, stocky, late 40s, eyes behind square wireframe glasses. Ramirez is younger, hair tied neatly into a bun, lips pressed into a line that suggests caution, not aggression. But even their body language tells the room something's about to shift. They don't shout. They don't need to. They see Malik and approach him directly as the mother with the stroller suddenly finds herself absorbed in a display of pearl earrings she hadn't noticed before. Aaron, returning from the back with the necklace in a small velvet pouch, slows his pace. His face changes. Excuse me, son, Delgado says, voice flat but firm. We'd like to have a word with you. Malik blinks. Ramirez steps to his side. Just over here, please. It'll only take a moment. Malik glances down at the receipt in his hand, still tucked against the jewelry bag. I'm just paying for something. That's all. Delgado nods. We're not accusing you of anything. We just received a call and have to follow up. Aaron says nothing, frozen behind the counter. Malik looks around. The store doesn't feel quiet anymore. It feels suspended. Like someone pressed pause on a movie where he didn't ask to be cast as the villain. They guide him to the corner near a glass case full of opals. Delgado keeps one hand near his belt. Ramirez pulls a notepad from her pocket. What's your name, she asks. Malik Rivers. You here alone today? He nods. Yeah. Where are you coming from? School. I took the bus from Tempe. Delgado glances toward the front window where Linda Carmichael now stands just outside, partially obscured by the sun's reflection. Her phone is still in her hand, though the call ended minutes ago. She watches through the glass, one hand gripping her purse, her lips tight like she's waiting for a scene to unfold that proves her right. Ramirez flips a page. So what brings you here? Malik raises the small bag slightly. I'm buying a birthday gift. For my mom. I already left a deposit. Ramirez looks at Delgado. He doesn't nod. He just shifts his weight. Do you have ID? I'm 17, Malik says. But yeah, student ID. He reaches slowly, deliberately, and pulls the card from his wallet. He's careful, every movement measured, like his mother taught him. Ramirez studies it, scribbles something in her pad, then hands it back. Malik swallows hard. I didn't do anything wrong. Delgado replies. We're just confirming things. We had a report. Malik stiffens. Because I was looking at jewelry. In a jewelry store, Aaron finally speaks. He was polite. Didn't cause any trouble. Paid what we asked. I can confirm that. Ramirez nods faintly, but she doesn't walk away. Neither does Delgado. And then, like a scene shift in a theater, the chime over the door rings once again. Everyone turns. She enters without fanfare, but the room bends around her presence. Tiana Rivers, 46, Black slacks, crisp blazer, low heels, and a face that radiates control without asking for permission. Her government badge glints near her hip. Her walk is measured precise, like she's scanning the perimeter for a silent threat. But her eyes lock only on one thing. Malik, she says. He turns. I'm fine, Mom. The officers stiffen, subtly but noticeably. Delgado takes a step back, his posture straightening. Ramirez lowers her notepad slightly. Something has shifted again, and this time it isn't power, it's accountability. Tiana doesn't touch her son. She just gives him one full look over eyes, checking for any sign of harm or humiliation. Then she faces the officers. What's going on here? Delgado clears his throat. Ma'am, we received a call about suspicious activity and needed to investigate. Suspicious how she asks, voice even. No crime committed, Ramirez adds quickly. Just a precaution. Tiana raises an eyebrow. So this wasn't based on a store complaint. Aaron speaks again, more confidently this time. No, I didn't call anyone. I didn't report anything. He was respectful, made a purchase. That's it. Tiana nods slowly. Then why is my son being questioned? Delgado glances at the glass. A woman outside called. She believed his behavior might be suspicious. Tiana breathes in, then exhales slowly. So a black teenager in a hoodie shopping alone is cause for alarm. That's the standard now. Ramirez's gaze falls to the floor. Linda Carmichael doesn't enter. She just lingers near the door, frozen, half-shadowed by sunlight and regret. Tiana steps closer to her son, voice low but unmistakably steady. This is why I taught you to keep calm, to keep your hands where people can see them, to speak clearly, because this world doesn't always give you the benefit of the doubt. Malik nods once, jaw set. And behind him, the necklace he came to buy still waits quiet and gleaming inside a velvet pouch. But not everything stays buried forever. The hum of the store fades into a tight silence, the kind that doesn't fall so much as press down. Officer Delgado stands still, but his eyes shift between Tiana Rivers and the young man she just claimed as her son. Ramirez says nothing now, her notepad held close to her chest like a misplaced apology. The mother with the stroller sneaks a glance toward the exit, but doesn't move. Aaron, the associate, looks down at the necklace pouch, still resting on the counter, like it's waiting to decide who deserves it. Malik's fingers stay in his hoodie pocket, curled loosely, not in anger but restraint. He's been coached for moments like this. His mother made sure of it. Keep your voice level even if your heart isn't. You don't have to prove your worth, but you do have to protect it. Tiana's voice slices the air without raising its volume. What exactly did this report say? Delgado clears his throat. The caller stated that your son was acting nervous. Seemed like he might be planning something. Aaron steps in again, firmer, Mr. Dempsey. He wasn't. He came in, looked around, admired one item, and placed a deposit. We didn't have any concerns. At all. Tiana nods once. So your reaction was based entirely on an outside call. Not behavior, not evidence. Yes, ma'am? Ramirez murmurs. We're just required to follow up on calls like that. Malik speaks now calm but heavy. So someone can just call the police and say, I looked wrong. That's all it takes. No one answers. Linda Carmichael steps just inside the doorway. Now her handbag clutched tightly against her side. She doesn't speak. She doesn't need to. Everyone knows. Tiana doesn't look at her, not yet. She keeps her eyes on Delgado and Ramirez. Let's be clear, this wasn't a misunderstanding. This was bias dressed up as safety. And you walked into the store and treated my son like he was already guilty. Ramirez opens her mouth, closes it. Malik unfolds the receipt, his voice quiet. I have proof of what I bought. My name's on it. My ID matched. Delgado straightens slightly as if to reassert control. And we've confirmed that. He's free to go. Tiana cocks her head. Free to go where he never should have been detained. No one disagrees. But no one agrees out loud either. Linda finally speaks barely above a whisper. I was just being cautious. That's all. I didn't want anything to happen. Tiana turns slowly to face her. Nothing happened until you made it happen. Linda's lips part, trembling at the edges. I didn't know he was your son. That's the point, Tiana replies. You didn't know him at all, but you decided what he was anyway. The sentence hangs in the air, heavy and undeniable. Malik shifts slightly but doesn't retreat. You saw a hoodie, you saw brown skin, you thought trouble. Aaron clears his throat. We're done here, right? Because I'd really like to finish helping our customer. Delgado nods stiffly. Yes, of course, we'll file it as a closed check-in. Ramirez hands Malik back his ID. Thank you for your cooperation. He takes it slowly. Didn't feel like I had a choice. Tiana lays a gentle hand on his shoulder now. The first touch. Protective grounding. Let's go, she says softly. They walk past Linda, who shifts uncomfortably but doesn't speak again. Malik steps out into the bright Arizona sun quiet. Not because he's ashamed, but because too much has happened to put into words just yet. They cross the sidewalk to a black government SUV. Malik opens the door but hesitates before getting in. He looks back at the jewelry store. His jaw tightens. Tiana notices. What's on your mind? He shrugs. Feels wrong to let it end like that. I came here to buy something. I should finish what I started. Tiana studies him. You sure? He nods. Yeah. Then let's go back in. They return. The chime rings again, but this time the tone is different. Purposeful. Sharp. Linda is still in the store. Aaron looks up startled at first, but then sees the calm in Malik's face and relaxes slightly. The pouch is still on the counter. I'd like to pay the rest now, Malik says, pulling out the digital gift card he traded for that morning. Aaron blinks, then nods. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Linda watches from the corner, shame building like heat under her collar. She doesn't speak, but her presence is no longer confident. It's studied, unsure. Malik finishes the transaction steady and firm. The payment reader beeps. Done. Aaron slides the small velvet box across the counter. Happy birthday to your mom, he says this time with real weight behind the words. Malik picks it up and turns to leave. Tiana pauses at the door. Next time you make a call, she says without looking at Linda, ask yourself what made you feel unsafe and whether that fear belongs to the person you judged or to something in you. She steps out the light, swallowing her whole, but not everything stays buried forever. Some lessons plant themselves where silence used to be and grow slowly into something that cannot be ignored. Back in the SUV, Malik rests the velvet pouch gently in his lap. He doesn't speak, and neither does Tiana, not at first. The car hums with quiet restraint, as if it knows it's holding more than just two people. It's holding weight, tension. The things unsaid between a mother and a son when life shows its teeth in daylight. You did good in there, Tiana finally says, eyes on the road. You stayed calm. Malik doesn't respond right away. He's staring out the passenger window, watching palm trees bend slightly in the wind. Didn't feel calm, I know, she replies, but you didn't let it own you. That matters. He turns toward her now, expression blank, but voice full of something deeper. It's messed up. I walk in to buy you a birthday gift, and I end up having to defend who I am. She nods slowly, keeping her grip steady on the wheel. That woman didn't see you. She saw a version of you that fear built. Malik scoffs lightly, and what happens to her now? She gets to go home, drink wine, and pat herself on the back for being cautious. Meanwhile, I get to replay every second, like I did something wrong. Tiana doesn't answer right away. She pulls into the driveway of their home, a two-story, neatly trimmed place nestled in a modest cul-de-sac. She puts the car in park and turns to him. She'll remember, she says quietly. Maybe not today, maybe not the way you want, but people remember when mirrors are held up. Malik nods, jaw tight. He grabs the pouch and opens the door. That evening, the necklace sits on the kitchen counter, untouched, still in its box. He doesn't hand it to her with a speech or a smile. He just slides it over the granite like an early offering. Tiana opens it, eyes softening at the sight of the key pendant. Why a key, she asks. Malik leans on the counter, arms folded. You've always made sure I never felt locked out of anything. School, space, the world, even when it tried to push back. She swallows once. The emotion is there but controlled. It's beautiful. They don't say anything else. They don't need to. That night she pauses in his doorway. He's sitting cross-legged on his bed, headphones on, scrolling through highlights from an NBA game. He sees her and pulls one side of the headphones down. You okay, she asks. He shrugs. I feel like I should be madder or sadder. But I'm just tired. She nods slowly. That's honest. He sets the headphones aside. You know what scared me the most? What I didn't do anything wrong, and they still came at me like I might have. Her shoulders drop slightly, not from weakness, but where? That's the trap. You did everything right. But the system doesn't always work on right and wrong. It works on assumption. Malik stares at his hands. So what's the point? Why be careful if it doesn't matter? She crosses into the room, now sits on the edge of his bed. Because the point isn't them. It's you, your name, your dignity, how you carry yourself. You walked out of that store standing taller than every other person in it. He nods once slowly. The truth of it lands somewhere deep in him. The next morning, Tiana steps out to get the paper still in her robe. Across the street, a neighbor waves awkwardly. She waves back. Inside her home, the necklace now hangs loosely around her neck. She wears it like armor, not because of its value, but because of who gave it and what it cost to give. A few miles away, Linda Carmichael sits in her car outside a grocery store, staring at the steam curling off her lukewarm coffee. Her phone is face down on the passenger seat. She's not scrolling. She's just sitting, still hearing the echo of Tiana's voice. That question, what made you feel unsafe? Through the windshield, a group of teenagers walks toward the store. They're laughing, shoving each other lightly. One wears a hoodie pulled over his head. Linda watches, heart fluttering slightly. She doesn't reach for her phone. She doesn't move. She just watches. And it's not fear she feels this time. It's something quieter, something unsettled. Back at the house, Malik is packing his school bag. He tucks his hoodie into the side pocket folded, not because he's ashamed, but because today it's too hot to wear. He looks at himself in the mirror, adjusts the collar of his t-shirt. Nothing fancy, just him. Downstairs, Tiana straightens her blazer. She notices the way the key pendant catches the morning light and turns slightly gold. She smiles. Malik comes down the stairs, backpack slung, phone in hand. She opens his door. Ready? He nods. Yeah. As they step out, the air feels different. Not lighter, not healed, but honest. And sometimes that's a start, because not everything stays buried forever. And the next time someone makes that call, they might just hesitate. It's Friday afternoon now, 3 days after the call. The light in Scottsdale hasn't changed. It still cuts through the air like glass, but something in Malik has. He walks down the same plaza corridor, past the same coffee shop, past the same tilted row of tulips growing out of square concrete planters. His steps are slower this time, not hesitant, but deliberate. He's not just returning to the scene. He's returning to the decision. Aaron is behind the jewelry counter again, arranging a tray of birthstone rings. He looks up and blinks in recognition as Malik walks in a small bag tucked under his arm. Back so soon? Aaron asks, offering a nod that feels warmer than before. Malik doesn't waste words. I wanted to say thank you for telling the truth that day. Aaron hesitates, then says, it shouldn't have taken courage to do that, but I'm glad I did. You handled yourself with more grace than most adults I've seen. Malik nods once. I'm learning. He places the small gift bag on the counter. This is for you. Just a card and some coffee. Nothing big. Aaron raises an eyebrow, visibly surprised. You didn't have to, I know, Malik replies. But that's the point. There's a quiet moment between them. Just two people on either side of glass who saw the same day through very different lenses. Meanwhile, outside the store, Linda Carmichael returns to the plaza. She didn't mean to come here. Not really. But something pulled her back. Guilt, maybe. Or curiosity. Or something harder to name. She walks slowly, her heels clicking against the polished stone, her handbag tight under her arm. She sees Malik through the window, standing tall, comfortable, confident, not afraid of space. She doesn't go inside. She just watches. She expected to feel justified. She doesn't. She expected to feel relief. She doesn't. What she feels is the hard truth of having judged someone unfairly, and the deeper truth that he didn't let it define him. Later that day, Tiana walks into her office at the Field Division building. Her badge hangs at her hip, her blazer sharp. But the key pendant glints above her collarbone, now a quiet defiance against the world's assumptions. Her assistant greets her. Director Rivers, your 10 o'clock has been rescheduled. Tiana nods. Good. Gives me time to finish something. She closes her door, sits, then reaches for a file she's been building for a year now on racial bias and community-level emergency calls. She adds a note to the front. What feels like suspicion is often fear in disguise. What follows is rarely justice, but sometimes it's a chance for reflection. Back at home that night, Malik returns from school, kicks off his sneakers at the door, and finds Tiana in the kitchen. She's stirring pasta. Nothing special. He drops his backpack and sits on the counter stool. Still wearing it, he asks, nodding at the necklace. She doesn't look up. Still proud of you. He smiles. I was thinking about what you said, about not carrying someone else's growth. Tiana glances over now, curious. I realize something, he continues. You can't carry someone else's growth, but you can be the reason it starts. That makes her pause, then smile. I like that. He leans back, arms folded behind his head. Think that woman will ever change? I think she already has just enough to hesitate next time. And that hesitation could save someone else from what you went through. Malik nods. That's enough. For now. As dinner simmers and the sun dips low over the Arizona sky, neither of them speaks more. They don't need to, because something happened in that jewelry store. A moment of judgment was met not with rage, but with resolve. A mother showed what it means to hold a mirror up to the world, and a son showed what it means to keep walking forward when the world tries to close its doors. And as quiet as that moment may have looked from the outside, it left ripples. Not every battle ends in noise. Some end in reflection. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is go back not to prove a point, but to finish what you came to do. Because dignity doesn't flinch. It just walks in, pays in full, and walks out a little taller than before. As the night settles in and the streets begin to quiet, the world goes on just like it did before. But one jewelry store employee is just a little more aware of the weight of his silence. One woman is now living with a question she can't unask. And one teenager is sleeping in his room knowing he didn't fold, didn't lash out, didn't shrink. He just stood. So if you've ever been judged before you spoke, if you've ever been followed for simply existing, if you've ever had to carry grace in places where others walk with ease, this story is for you. May you know that dignity is not given, it's lived. And sometimes the strongest justice is the kind that never raises its voice.